On this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast, B is for Vendetta.
And V is for Vampirates. Let's do this. Welcome to this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast. I'm Diana.
And I'm Liz.
And this week we're going to talk Season 8, Episode 5, Blood Brother. I want to say brother, like Hulk Hogan.
Like Hulk Hogan?
I didn't do a very good job. Yeah. Brother.
You sound like you have a hairball.
I don't know. I'm not good at that.
Yeah.
I'm not good at that voice.
Maybe, yeah. Being heavy metal, like, metal's not in your future. Sorry.
It's not.
I know that dream is going to be crushed. But you can still take the album cover photos, and those are hot. So, what has been going on with you?
I feel like I had a very busy time. Oh, yeah, I've just been doing a bunch of work stuff, but I got to go to a really cool Western swing show this weekend, and Bob Wills Texas Playboys, and that was really cool because they are a legacy band. Obviously, Bob Wills is dead and has been for a very long time.
Hey, you do not know if Bob Wills may have been playing with his band.
I mean, he might have. I mean, this place was Bob Wills' ranch house originally, and there's 3 generations of his family in the building.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
if there was ever a time he haunting,
yeah,
did you record it? Like, is there a video of this? I want to go. I want to comb through all the videos. We have to comb through looking for to see if there's like orbs or like. Ooh, or like maybe you can find some like EVP recordings like on like some like everybody did in the audio.
Maybe. I don't know. It's all the music, so we'll have to see. But yeah, so that was pretty cool. And the venue, the Longhorn Ballroom got which was Bob Wills' ranch house, is now in the National Historic Registry. That's big news.
It's very exciting.
They announced it at the show.
It was a very, very exciting thing to happen.
Ran into some friends and had a nice time listening to some music that, like, I'm not going to go off on a tangent about Western swing, I promise. But it's one of those genres of music that you're reminded when you listen to it just of, like, while it does sound old, it's also timeless. And that's a fascinating combination. That's what I got.
Noted.
That's my observation for the day. There you go.
And played by
Ghost. How about you?
And
played by Ghost.
So maybe. I spent part of the weekend at the first and possibly first annual Texas Spirit Gathering, which was an occult spiritualist historical seance-y, I don't know, thing that happened this weekend that was led by Austin Seance and had a bunch of speakers who were like super awesome, knowledgeable speakers when it comes to the world of spiritualists, although most of them were at Texas State, which did give me one of my degrees, so I'm just saying there's that. But no, it was a great time. There was lots of really interesting conversations. So like one of the conversations, the lectures was on spiritualism and the Civil War. And so we got to nerd out on that, and we got to nerd out on the cases that inspired the exorcisms, and Dr. Laycock, who we used a lot of his work in this show, was there, and he autographed my book, and that was cool. And there was just, we did some actual, like, hands-on things. So, we did some psychometry work, which is, trying to identify things with, like, objects we had, like, they would take a bunch of different objects and put them in boxes and then pass them around the room. And then you would have to, guess what's in the box, and so, but you'd have to be like, okay, so this is what this object reminds me of, which I just think is bullshit. But I love the guys, but I mean, it's just like, so this is just so you can be like, yes, that's clearly like why this answer is like that answer. I know a lot of people believe. I'm just a skeptic at heart, and because I'm like, why can't you just say this is the comb in the box? Like, why? I don't think that way. I don't want to feel like I think like I am thinking of spiny doodle bugs, and then be like, that's a comb.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah,
it was at the First Spiritualist Church in Austin, which just reopened, and it is really cool to have that kind of a piece of history that, you know, just to have that and just to be there was neat.
Yeah.
And the Hyde Park neighborhood in Austin, like, it's such a cute fucking neighborhood, and I hate them all for like being able to have those houses, and you know that, like, I was like, just for shits and giggles, let's just see if any. Nope. Still no houses within a 5-mile radius that are being sold here, because that's Hyde Park in Austin. Because fuck you, Austin. Like, stupid.
Yeah, real estate's a little bonkers there.
I know. So it's one of those neighborhoods that you walk through and you're like, I love you. I want to be here. I can see myself in this cute, adorable little house, and I'm sitting here just walking to this restaurant, gonna go have some like really good fries that I could just walk to. Nope. Nope, not for you. Nope. Only these fuckers get to. Why do these? But just kidding. All right, so I will go off my rant on the people who get to live in that neighborhood. Assholes. I'm sure you were very lovely people. You had very nice fluffy dogs. So a lot of fluffy dogs. There were some good cats there too. So
nice.
Yeah, it's a cute neighborhood. Recommend, like, go to Austin, like, go to other places besides just, you know, the gross places.
6th Street.
Yeah.
Does anybody go there anymore even?
People, everybody still goes there. And then I'm like, you know, people get shot there, like, all the time, right? What? And then it'll be like, this week on 6th Street, like, a car drove through a bunch of people, like, you know, it's fucking 6th Street.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for those bars and restaurants that have been there for a very long time. Because there's still a few.
No, I mean, but they're at the end of it, and that's as far as they go. You go as far as Flamingo. Everybody knows that. So, all right, let's talk about this episode. Blood Brother.
All right.
So this is season 8, episode 5. It first aired on Halloween, October 31st, 2012. It was directed by Guy Norman B., who we last saw in season 7, 22, There Will Be Blood. So he's got a theme running, and it was written by Ben Edlund, and we last saw him in season 7, episode 21, Reading is Fundamental.
All right, and we kick off in Eagle Harbor, Washington.
Well, before that, we do have a pretty extensive...
We do have a quick recap.
Previously in Purgatory. And one of the things that's really, you know, noticeable in there is that while in Purgatory, Castiel has a beard, and yet Dean does not. And I think that's a very important question that everybody should ponder. In 2012, Zap to It, our serious journalist, Karina Adley McKenzie, actually asked Misha Collins and Jensen Ackles about this. And Misha said, well, it's because he's an angel and all of his badass angel powers were congregating into his hair follicles because of the intense pressure of the atmosphere in Purgatory. And Jensen said, the answer I got from the writers was Dean has knives.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. So, just some things to note about when you're watching the opening entry,
the Purgatory, and the flashbacks. Yeah. Well, in good old Eagle Harbor, Washington, we've got a guy walking on a dock at night, and we realize that it's Benny, and he greets Quentin, and we get kind of a backstory. We're starting to get a little backstory about Benny now, and Quentin helped kill Benny when Benny was part of Quentin's posse. And they have the old man is their boss, but they refer to him. But Benny's got a big knife, but Quentin has some henchmen. We get a flash of fangs, and then Quentin gets his head cut off, and Benny turns to the henchmen to take them on next.
Also, like, Benny is very particular about the hat that he's wearing. So he, like, takes his hat off before, like, he gets in the fight. Like, kind of like you would take your earrings off before you, like, throw down. So I think
like
it was
that,
just, like, you kind of know, like, once, like, Benny's hat comes off, like, oh shit, he's about to throw
Shit's going
hands,
down.
right? You should know that's about to happen. So we go from... Also, that knife is... There's sort of uncomfortable big knives in this episode. Although I kind of like that knife. That's more of a machete.
It is. It's like a short machete, though. But I mean, short for a machete, but it's
still a
still a large knife.
I would still say it's a machete.
Machete. So we cut to Enid, Oregon, where Sam and Dean enter and clear a motel room. And we get a little bit of info on them hunting. They're still trying to find Kevin. Not really hunting him. They're trying to find Kevin. But apparently Kevin's outsmarted them because he's using credit cards in a clever way where, like, everything's already burned before he, like, not burned, but like info's already bad. And just, Oh, I was going to say it wasn't like on this. Talking about this show, I wanted to make clear there wasn't physically a fire.
Yeah, but you don't know. He could be physically lighting things on fire. I wouldn't rule it out.
He could be.
And Kevin is legit mad because Dean tried to kill his mom.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
I think so.
Dean doesn't seem to get that, but it's very reasonable.
Yep.
And then Dean gets a phone call and steps outside to take it, very secretive like, which I'm sure Sam doesn't notice at all.
Yeah, because it's very sus. And he was just like, I don't know, I can't get any bars. I gotta go outside. Uh-oh, Sammy, don't notice what I'm doing. And there should be some like sneaky music as he goes outside, like
Yeah, but it's Benny telling him that he is surrounded by a bloody mess and his legs don't work. He's going to crawl to a barge and needs a favor. So Dean goes and frantically packs. Sam is freaked out. He's like, what the fuck? We're on the trail of the prophet. Where are you going? And Dean's like, well, the trail's dead. The room's paid for. You got research to do. I got personal business. Deuces.
And I'll take the Toblerone. And, and Sam's kind of pissed off that, like, Dean won't tell him, like, what it is, and that he's taking the Toblerone, because that's just weird. Yeah. But, Dean's also pointing out that Sammy took, like, a year off, and he's like, can't I just get a day? But we also know that you're not taking a personal day, and it's just really weird that you're calling this a personal day. I don't understand. It's just a weird choice of, I don't understand this really.
No, it's all weird because like in what world we have developed these characters for 7 fucking seasons. We're now in season 8, and there's not a scenario in that which this would be a believable situation. So I know, like, obviously we all get Dean wants it to be a secret. He's friends with a vampire. Nah, okay, but like this is not a believable scenario in any way, shape, or form. And why he's like, yeah, I know Sam's not sharing about him taking his year off, blue, but like. You're not sharing about Purgatory either, okay? And now you're running off? Like, you're mad at him for taking a year off and you're just going to fucking ditch him without a car? No. Sorry, sir.
Yep. But I also do appreciate that now Dean does have one of those friends that you just, whatever your friend says, you just drop everything and go. And, it's important to have those friends in your life. Because sometimes you may be like, hey, a ninja just stole all of my shit and I'm stuck in a bar in this country. And I need you to come get me or fly me home. And, like, that could happen.
It could happen.
Sometimes ninjas steal your shit when you're in another country. It happens to people sometimes. I'm just saying. So, anyway, Dean is driving and he's remembering fighting in Purgatory. And apparently...
He's having extreme flashbacks while driving, which is also concerning.
It is concerning. Like, I don't want to be on the road with any of the Winchesters. And none of them seem like they're driving safe. I don't think their automobiles would pass inspection. But also, Benny whistled while he fought. And that would be fucking annoying as shit.
But also be really intimidating to the enemy. So
I did think there would be like a tactical advantage because then Dean would always know like that
where he was,
yeah. So like he wouldn't be like accidentally cutting off Benny's head. I was like, that is a thing that you could do, but also stop fucking whistling.
I thought it was kind of badass. Because it's so casual. That's why it's intimidating to your enemy. I don't know. So
well, just the fact
Sam's
that
in a
you're
motel.
like you have that amount of breath control too while you're fighting, because I would just be like,
well, I just can't even whistle very well, so I mean, I'm impressed in general. Terrible whistler. So Sam's gonna keep researching Kevin, but instead of just looking at his credit applications and IDs, he's gonna quote unquote not stalk Amelia.
He's cyber stalking both Amelia and Kevin. Like what he's doing is also weird. It's a very weird way of researching shit. Don't like your browser windows. Whatever is happening here makes me uncomfortable.
It seemed odd. Didn't seem like the most organized approach. And then he hears a noise in the bathroom, and it's the fan rattling, which gives him a flashback to fixing the AC at the motel where he was at with Amelia.
It's like a portal. The fan's like a flashback portal that nobody ever wanted.
And basically, the long story short is he ended up becoming the accidental maintenance man at the motel that he was staying at because he became buddies with Everett, the kid at the counter, because Everett's dad did own the place and did the maintenance, but his dad was sick and they needed help around the place.
Even drifters need careers. So now Sam fixes the motel AC in the current one, and he is just like, yeah, I still got it. And he's very proud of his ability to still be a handyman. Good for you, Sam Winchester. Good for you.
Yeah. And Dean makes it to the harbor and finds Benny's truck, where he searches it and is able to locate his cooler full of donor blood in the back. So he takes that and goes and finds Benny in the lower level on the, I don't know.
He's in the barge.
On the
He's
barge?
in the barge. Like, I guess in a barge. Yeah, I guess really barges have like.
And he looks pretty rough. But then we just cut immediately to him being cleaned up and walking around on it, like barely injured.
After he feeds him. Oh. Dean feeds his boyfriend. It's so cute. So Benny like showers, and for some reason he also has a white shirt on. Like, why? You literally like drink blood all day. Like I would not own white. But anyways.
So Benny's like, thanks, Dean. Shake hands. Bye. And Dean's like, no. What's going on here? And so Benny's like, well, I've got my deal and you've got your family business. But Dean wants to know. So we get another flashback. And it's actually kind of an interesting one. This one's with Castiel. So it's Dean, Benny, and Castiel. And Castiel's talking about, if you kill a monster in monster heaven, where does it go? And I thought that was
a good question.
Because they're killing all these people in Purgatory. What the fuck? And Benny refers to Cass as the crazy aunt, but Castiel takes it very seriously.
Because they're fighting over Dean.
Yes. And then ends up, they determine that it's just not strategically smart for an angel, a human, and a monster to be traveling Purgatory together. Not only because the human's kind of a beacon, the angel is a super beacon for the bad guys. And on top of that, they don't even know for sure if an angel can pass through the door that Benny is taking Dean to.
And an angel, a human, and a vampire walk into a bar just is not the start of the best joke ever. So that'd be.
I like Benny's response. I do like Benny's response though, because they're like, well, talking about whether an angel can pass through the door versus if they only know humans can. And I like that Benny says, "Take away the fangs and the fun. I was born human too." That was pretty funny. Take away the fangs and the fun. Obviously, I like Benny. Go ahead.
So, then we go back to the barge, and Benny explains why he's hunting his maker so he can kill him before he kills me. And then we're going back to the past, and now we're back to Sam fixing an ice maker. Ugh.
Yeah, he's fixing an ice maker because he gets reminded by the ice cooler at the current motel. And so he fixes the ice machine at the motel back in Texas. And he gets sent to go fix a clogged sink in one of the motel rooms. And it ends up it's Amelia's room, and she is pissed and starts berating him for being creepy and insults his clothes and his sideburns.
I mean, that makes sense.
That's about it. And then we go back to Benny and Dean, who are going through all the things that was in Quentin and the henchman's pockets, I guess. This is kind of unclear. They're just going through a pile of crap. I assume it's what was Quentin.
Yeah, I think they basically were like, okay, when the barge was, I don't know if the barge was theirs or not, but I feel like they took a bunch of stuff like from the people that Benny executed.
Yeah. And basically they're like, they find a lot of information, or Benny is filling in about what everything is and where they're at. And like, there's this list of yachts, there's launch times and destinations. And the ones that have already been crossed off are ones that have been boarded, burned, and buried at sea. So he's like, basically we find out that these vampires had like a small fleet, and he circled the Americas 10 times. They patrol the harbors, find a fat, rich yacht that's going too far. And then they would, the ocean would just swallow it up for all anybody knew. And then Dean gets to say something amazing.
Because they're vampires and they're pirates.
So what does that make them?
Vampirates.
Yes, vampirates. Benny is surprised they never thought of that. I'm disappointed.
There is a punk rock band named Vampirates who is out of... Where are you guys out of? I know there's a book series that's out of England. Come on, why is your page so slow? Vampirates.org. West Coast. Oh, Reno, Nevada. They're a fast hardcore punk rock band from Reno, Nevada. There's also a book series, but also I would like to petition for movies. Please give me more vampirates, and not necessarily these vampirates, but vampirates
just in general. So they find a receipt, and it says something about Prentiss Island. So now they're like, well, shit, I guess we got to go to Prentiss Island, and because that's where the old man will be. So they go driving, and Dean is saying, hey, Benny, if you were your maker's favorite, why did he kill you? And Benny goes on a kind of a tangent about, not a tangent, it's a mini monologue, I guess, explaining about how...
giving it the backstory on this. Like,
it is.
Didn't you know? Like, okay, this is why, like... this is really Benny's life. It was like, look, I fell in love with, I was his favorite.
Well, the whole thing about, like, you believe that your maker's like God, and they act like God, and then, I don't know.
They're very, very nasty vampires. And sometimes... on the show, they have very nasty vampires. It's part of the mythology. Yeah, but in this one, like, your maker... And you saw this, like, in the one that Dean was going to join, right? Where they have the poet, like, the ones with the Twilight episode. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so... But basically, unfortunately, or fortunately, he, like, found this Greek heiress who was on a yacht, and then he boarded her ship. Like, she was just like, oh, vampire man! This is great, not scary at all. Yes, I would love to fuck you, vampire man. Be mine forever. And
I'm human.
Yeah, so
and she's human.
And she's like, but I'm super rich. This is great. So they're in love, and then the maker found him.
Yeah, after they had settled, they went and settled back in Louisiana. They were fucking chilling, and then the maker found them with Quentin. And it was a crime to leave the nest, so they beheaded Benny and tore out Andrea's throat. Or Andrea, I
guess. Yeah.
Andrea.
And that was the last thing Benny saw, was the old man tearing out her throat.
Which is very sad.
Yeah.
So they take a tiny boat to Prentiss Island.
And you have to think about this, too. This has all happened right before he got to Purgatory. So beyond, like, while Benny was mad in Purgatory, like, this is what Benny was mad about. Like, this is why he wanted to come back. Like, this is
to get
the B
revenge
is for
on killing for
vendetta.
Andrea.
This was his vendetta.
Vendetta.
His vendetta.
Benny's vendetta.
Yeah. So they take a boat out. They have a boat. They have a boat.
Steal a boat?
And
they take a boat.
Seems like it'd be really easy to steal a boat. I don't know. I've never tried to steal one. I feel like it would be easy. So they take a boat to this island, and they've also brought bags of stuff.
Weapons. And Dean actually pauses to text Sam. He's like, hunting vamps, nest on Prentiss Island, ... not alone. But then he deletes it. He doesn't actually send it.
Yep.
Because he's a dumb.
He's not ready to admit that he's cheating yet. He can't say it.
Ugh. So they have like a moment where they're reminded of Purgatory, and then Benny starts having an existential crisis about, I don't even know if this world or if I am even real. Dean tells him not to go down this path.
Yeah, Dean just shuts that down and been like, no, I've been down this path. We're not going with it.
Don't go.
We're not playing. I can't do this. We're not in the simulation.
So they go to the giant fancy house that has a really cool harpsichord in it, but Benny sees it and stops, and then he sees a photo of a chick. Ah, shit! It's Andrea. We already know. Show hasn't told you that, but you know
her
when you
looks
see it.
Pretty not torn out. It wasn't like a picture of her being like, ah!
Like dead. Yeah, this is a very current picture of Andrea. So yeah, and then she comes down the stairs, and luckily Dean's hidden, but Benny hasn't, and they gaze at each other while henchmen are summoned. And then Benny gets bonked on the head.
Yeah, these are definitely henchmen. And one of them is named Sorrento, so I just started calling him the cheese guy. So the cheese guy has Benny tied to a chair.
With handcuffs? Anyways. And then, nope, we get to confirm that this is Andrea. She's there, and she was turned. And Dean's trying to creep around, and Sam is blowing his phone up, but obviously Dean can't answer. But back in the motel with Sam, he's still cyber stalking Amelia, and then has a flashback. Back to, again, why she's confused why he's fixing the sink. I don't know.
She thinks like he's
weird.
Just stalking her, but she's like also just not very bright. But I think there's like, and then we start to get to like this whole like, you're a creeper, but you're hot. And he's like, why'd you put all these limes in your disposal? How many margaritas are you making, bitch? Like,
and she has a whole other bag of limes with her from the store.
Limes? Like,
it's so.
Do you have
what is that
scurvy? About? What's going on?
Oh, is that a tie-in? Is that a tie-in to the opposite of the pirates?
Maybe.
Anyways, I don't know. But and then Sam kind of calls her out because he's like, yeah, I'm just helping out because Everett's dad's sick, and she's lived there for 3 months, and she's like, I don't know who Everett is. I don't know what you're talking about. So like, yeah. Anyway, so she's calling Sam a drifter, but he's kind of calls her out for not really moving into town either. And scene.
So Dean calls Sam back, and he's like, I'm in a vamp's nest with a guy, but you don't know him.
It's a friend. It's not Garth, but it's a friend.
All your friends are dead.
And immediately my head goes, all your friends are dead.
All my friends are dead. It's like a kick in the head.
Sorry, Turbo Negro.
It is like a kick in the head. All your friends are dead.
Yes. Oh, man. All right. So Andrea has a henchman telling the old man that Benny's there. And because that's the only person she answers to, and slaps Benny. But then she sends everybody away, so now it's just her and Benny. And she's like, oh, I'm going to kiss you, and this is how I was turned. And he's like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, no, don't be sorry. Why did you stay with all these people, though? And they're like, well, it's so complicated when you first get turned. And here's a knife so you can kill the old man, because I can't do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, yeah. he's like, I'm going to burn the whole operation to the ground. And she's like, yeah, then we can be together, kind of.
Well,
but then the henchmen come back.
And he's starting to also come to, like, I had a plan. My whole plan was I was coming back. I'm burning all this shit to the ground. It's gross. Y'all keep killing people. It's not a good thing you're doing. And you're here. This is now super, super complicated. And then Cheese Dude comes back, and then Sorrento, the cheese guy, says the old man wants Benny.
I feel like there's another joke in there about food somewhere, and I can't get to it, so I'm just going to leave it alone. Anyways, so Dean has Sam on speakerphone, which seems like a terrible idea.
We're trying to be stealthy. Can you not yell at the vampires? What? Dean, what?
But Sam's gonna come. He's coming. He's on his way. And then Dean uses his phone as bait to decapitate a vampire. It's pretty smart, actually. But his phone gets broken in the process, which sucks.
Yeah, so then we're upstairs with the new Zaddy, because all of Benji's, like, vampire friend dudes are, like, really nice, like, dressed well Zaddies. And he is just...
the old man.
Yeah, the old man is just a super hot dude.
It was not old, for the record.
No.
But yeah, his lipstick was a little much.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, that stood out to me in the first scene. I was like, whoa.
So, anyways...
But he wants to understand how Benny could possibly be back from hell. And he's kind of like, well, I was just next door to that. But anyways, the old man's like, well, where was that? And Benny's all like, I'll just show you. Oh.
And Zaddy also does want Benny to know that he was very sad, and he wailed like the ugliest baby in the world. And then Cheese Guy is like, well, yeah, that's why he made his cow that way, because she meant everything to him. And then vamps are running down a hallway. They get decapitated, and then we have to go back to Purgatory. Why are we back in Purgatory?
Because we've got to discuss the value of life. So this is actually, I think, a critical one, even though we've discussed the exhaustion with the flashbacks, but this is critical because this is a big development of Benny in a way. Castiel is talking about, like, statistically, humans kill more humans than vampires kill. Arguably true. And because Dean's like, well, yeah, I'm going to bring Benny back, but what the fuck are you going to do in the real world? You're going to be a monster and start killing people again. And he's like, no, I was already on donor blood before I got killed. It's bought on the black market because I saw something in humanity. And I drink blood. I don't, not people. So
I don't eat people. I'm fine. And then I don't know what my notes mean here, because I have then they snap more. So hopefully they were snapping as they're walking through the woods like they were the Jets. That's just all I'm hoping happening.
Well, they agree, but Castiel and Benny agree, though, they're in a terrible position where they're at, because Castiel is going like a beacon.
More. That's what I meant. They were bickering like little bitches. Okay, so they bicker more like little bitches, but Leviathans are here.
Yeah, because apparently Leviathans are tracking Castiel, and Castiel can't blip out when they're super close or something. I don't know. So they try to run. So back at the motel, Sam steals a car and is driving. And while he's driving, he has another flashback.
I don't want to be on the road with these people. Pay attention to the road. But, okay, so Dog.
Yeah, his dog, that he's named Dog, runs into the quote-unquote angry lady's room, which is Amelia, the veterinarian, and sits in her lap. And she's like, is he taking his antibiotics? And he's like, he's like, of course. He's like, I've seen a lot of stitches, and you have a really good hand.
What the fuck is that? Really yeah, no, get the fuck out of my house. Don't compliment me.
Yeah, it's not reassuring.
No, nobody wants to, like.
How many? Why have you seen so many stitches, sir? Why?
The only time. Hey, Dr. Surgeon, to another Dr. Surgeon, I've seen a lot of stitches in my time, and this work that you did on this thing that we are doing a project on together, this person, Those were very nice stitches. You walk into a lady's house and say, I like stitches. Your stitches are nice.
I've seen a lot of stitches in my day, and you have a steady hand.
But then she's also like hot. Like, I just see her brain like justifying all of this shit because Jared Padalecki. She's just like,
well, he's like straight up. Do you really think he's like? Do you think I'm creepy? And she's like, it's creepy that you buy your clothes at Army Navy.
Navy's, yeah, the Navy's. Okay, I can get that. Like he, but honestly, like his clothes are clean. Like he doesn't look like a meth addict. Like like okay, so, but then he just invades her space and it's just like, so do you think I'm a drifter? And she's just like, I'm hot, you're hot, and I'm lonely, and that is really what happens here.
Well, they agree. She doesn't know where she's going either. She doesn't have anybody, and he can relate to that. And they both used to, but that's over and gone. Back to the present, and Dean's not answering his phone.
Yeah, and so Zaddy is monologuing, and within his mansion, there's a stained glass window, and it has a Latin phrase, "De mortuis aut bene aut nihil." I don't know. I don't speak fucking Latin, but that translates to, oh crap, I like wrote over what that translates to, but really means don't speak ill of the dead, right? So. Okay. And that can go. It can go into a lot of things, like
because they're undead, or if they are vampires dead, right, or whatever. Yeah,
but it's there's the famous line of Betty Davis where she's like, "You shouldn't speak ill of the dead. Joan Crawford's dead. Good." So that is apparently, though, it's called a mortuary aphorism, and that means it's a statement about death, but also it's just a fun Latin phrase. So I thought I would just quiz Diana about fun Latin phrases and see what she can figure out. Again, I don't speak Latin. I didn't look up how to say this fucking shit. So let's see how this goes. All right, but the first one, and I'm giving you multiple choice too. And I'm wearing this on my shirt, which I don't think you can see unless I like pipe my tits all the way in there. So,
all the way back.
So the first one is kind of a given, though, just to get the juices flowing, not the death juices, but whatever. All right. So number one, memento mori. Now, does that mean A, remember mori, B, more mentos, C, remember that you will die, or D, remember where you parked?
C.
It is. Remember that you will die. And it is one of my favorite phrases because I am that goth. Okay, so question number two, or I guess phrase number two, animum agere. And that's ANIMAMAGERE. So does that mean animals agree? B, 1 foot in the grave? C, your spirit will fly? Or D, to have one's last breath?
I am going to go with D.
It is. By saying this, you recognize that, one day you're going to have your last breath, or that you will one day die. So nice. Okay. Your next one, and also I got these from a place that I'll link in the show notes, but it was just a random place that somebody put together weird Latin phrases about death, so thank you. Your third phrase, mors mihi lucrum. Mihi lucrum? I don't know. Mors, M-O-R-S, mihi or mihi, M-I-H-I, and lucrum, L-U-C-R-U-M. Does that mean A, more mini goats? B, someone is walking over my grave? C, death to me is the reward? Or D, 1 foot in the grave?
B.
No, unfortunately, this one is C, death to me is reward. And that is one also super dark goth people that think death is cool, or people, who like death can be released from pain and suffering, Yeah. Phrase number 4. Mors vincit omnia. Does that mean A, more Vinnie Jones? B, death conquers all? C, another one bites the dust? D, dead in the water.
B.
It is. And that, basically means that nothing can stand in the face of death. It is inevitable and unavoidable. Your fifth phrase, moritue te salutant. Does that mean A, Maury is salty, B, morbid obesity, C, to those about to die, we salute you, or D, to those about to rock, we salute you?
C.
It is C. And, so that's a thank you for your service type thing, which I know I butchered the way that's said, and people are dying right now. It's fun. I appreciate your screams. The sixth phrase, but necare. So BUTNECA, BUTNECARE. Does that mean A, butt naked people get bug bit? Does that mean, or is it B, put up or shut up? C, either kill or be killed? Or D, come to a sticky end?
C.
That is C. You're correct. You're crushing this. You're a Latin babe.
Sure.
All right, here we go. Fluctere se nequeo superos. Acheronta movabo. I think I have summoned a demon. Okay, so Fluctere, that's Flectere, C, like, yes, S-I, but not Latin, not Spanish. Nikeo, Nequeo, Nequeo. Superos, Superos. Acheronta, ACH, I just made up a letter. ACHERONTA. Movebo, MOVEBO. All right. So does that mean A, Flaco Jimenez rules? B, we gladly feast on those who would subdue us? C, in the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity? Or D, if I cannot move heaven, I will raise hell?
B.
No, B is actually the Addams Family motto.
I knew it.
D is the correct answer. If I cannot move heaven, I will raise hell. And that does sound badass.
It does.
We gladly feast on those who, oh shit. So if sometimes I get that's also kind of junk Latin from what I understand, but it's still great. Well, two more. All right, break. Mortue vivos docent. Does that mean A, do you have any decent wine? B, give him enough rope? C, death becomes her? Or D, the dead teach the living?
D.
It is, and that would be awesome. Please let ghosts teach my history class, or it could be a Bill and Ted situation. I would also appreciate that. I just think it'd be cool to have the dead teach me stuff.
That'd be cool.
Right. Your final question. Hody, mihi, crass, tibby. So bespoken, so much better. So HODI is Hody, mihi, mahi, it's MIHI, crass, CRAS, tibby, TIBI. Does that mean A, death is better than crabs? B, they look better dead? C, today it's me, tomorrow it will be you? Or D, kill them with kindness?
C.
It does mean C. Today it's me, tomorrow will be you. Which is really supposed to be a thing for you're supposed to think about, look back and think on things. Or also, fuck off, tomorrow it's going to be you, motherfucker. So
yeah, that's how I took it.
Yeah, I don't know. Those are all things I wouldn't mind, on shirts. For the most part.
Yeah.
Anyways, good job. You could
Yay.
You could be in a Latin school. I don't know what you could do with that. With
nothing. But I only missed 2, so I'll take it.
Yeah, so congratulations.
No preparation.
Didn't even prep on your B. Latin verbs. There's a B. It's passing.
That counts.
All right. So we're going back to Benny and Zaddy.
Yeah. Old man Zaddy. And basically Benny gets informed that coming back from the dead is mutiny. Which I just find funny. I'm sorry. I don't know why.
Isn't that a thing? Like, I've never actually made it through the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I keep trying and I can't. But
I mean, I've seen the first one.
But
I
isn't that
I've
kind
watched all
of
the
the
sequels
point?
in their
Like, they come
entirety.
back
So I
from
have
the
no
dead,
idea.
right? So are they all committing mutiny?
I just think it's funny. I don't know. I'm just deeply amused. He's like, well, because I murdered you and I didn't think you'd come back from the dead ever, but since you did, now it's mutiny. I don't know. I just think it's hysterical that that what was believed to be an impossible thing is now mutiny. Anyways. And Benny just starts calling him out. He's like, you have so little. You just got your stupid harpsichord and a nest of hyenas. And Daddy's like, I have the sea and I have Andrea. Benny's like, no, you don't have her. Sorry. And henchman goes, that dumb bitch. It's just really funny to me.
Had it in for Andrea. Like, he did not.
Yeah, they didn't like each other.
He was like,
it was like all of a sudden he's like, that dumb bitch. I was like,
like in Sorrento's world, like, as soon as like, yeah, Benny's gonna die, I'm gonna be number. What the fuck? Like, she just got here. Who the fuck is this Andrea chick? Like, I was. What, Zaddy? Come on, look at me, Zaddy.
Well, so Sorrento is going to try to kill Benny, but Benny's a badass from all his practicing in Purgatory, and he quickly beheads him.
Yep.
So, and our Zaddy old man is like, oh, yeah, I've just been around too long. You're right.
He's just not going to fight in order.
This universe is a pyramid of despair.
Yeah, Zaddy, go all dark and evil. Oh man, like, you fucked Byron. I know you did. But he decides to like
pontificate about evil.
Yeah, he monologues a bit, but then basically is just like, I'm gonna go limp. That is going to be my fighting technique. I'm just going to lie here, and then you're just going to have to kill me, and I'm not going to fight you. Doesn't that make you feel bad? And I don't think Benny cares.
No, he's like, I can show you a whole new world, meaning Purgatory. Which is funny. Whole new world. And now we've got Andrea. And Benny approaches. Obviously, our old man Zaddy is dead. And Benny's like, all right, let's go. It's just an
uncomfortable thing to behead someone with. I don't like it.
Oh, yeah, it seems real uncomfortable.
And then he puts it on the harpsichord. Right. And look, I fucking hate the harpsichord. I think it is like one of the worst musical instruments that was ever made. At the same time, that looks like a very expensive antique. Don't put the bloody knife in the harpsichord.
Well, no, but it was symbolic because it was a bloody knife.
Harpsichord didn't do
because it was stupid Zaddy's. It was Zaddy's stupid harpsichord.
But now it could be history's harpsichord. Somebody made that. Zaddy didn't make it. Anyways, well, all right. So, but Andrea just wants to stay living that vampire life.
She's like, no, we got a good gig here. Let's keep doing this shit. We can just run it now.
I'll making money. Isn't that what you wanted to do?
Let's do this. Let's do it. We have the life we wanted. And Benny's like, no, this isn't what I fucking want now. And he's like, I'm going to leave a burning crater behind me, bitch.
I had a plan. I was coming back and I was going to do my whole like lemonade shit. You know, like I was just going to like light shit on fire behind me and like have the flames going. He was like, I had my I brought a hat. I put this hat on so it looked extra cool as I was walking away from it. And now, what, bitch, you want to like, now you just want to like sit here and be a vampire? That was not in the Benny plan.
No more vampiracy for me, ma'am. No more. And she's like, but it's still me. And he's like, no, it's not. You're a monster. And so she gets fangy and Dean stabs her and beheads her.
Yeah, and she becomes a whole lot less attractive. Like when she was just like, fine, I'm just going to open it on hinge my jaw. Look at all my teeth. And then Dean's just like, what? You can't have my boyfriend. He's mine.
Well, now Dean and Benny, we see them pushing their boat into the water. And Benny's like, why did you resurrect me? And he's like, you could have just, drained my soul anywhere. And
Just let
whatever,
me
you know,
die, Dean!
as he keeps having his existential
Yeah.
crisis. And we get another flashback.
Yeah, well, and Dean
of
is
them
also
running
just
through the
concerned.
woods.
He's like, "You good, man? Like, what the fuck? Like, you're about to crack. Like, oh, like
Yeah.
I have
Pull it together.
experience with like dudes who are about to crack, and I can see this
Right,
coming.
and
like, oh man, is this me? Is the
it's
pattern
like, I don't have
just
time for this. I gotta find a prophet. I got a prophet to find. I don't have time for this shit. Pull it together. But anyway, so our next little flashback is Benny, Dean, and Cass running through the woods with Leviathans landing around. But they're like, it's weird. These blobs land on the ground and they turn into humanoid things. What is that?
They're
Where's
like
this coming from?
Leviathan bombs. But also, like,
I don't
I
know.
think it's like maybe in Purgatory, because you know how like they bleed like black goo, so maybe like they can fly in the black goo while they're in Purgatory, and they're like, "Woo!" And they're like the sticky balls that you know you throw at the
Like goo,
walls.
it's goo balls, and suddenly, it's goo. It's a black goo ball, and suddenly it's a person.
Yep,
It's very weird. But why are they a person at all? Why do they have a humanoid shape at all? When Leviathans weren't humanoid at all, they only became humanoid when they were on Earth and taking over people's bodies. I'm just saying, I'm very confused by this.
they decided they like to be people. I
guess.
know.
I don't know.
There's a lot of things that
Well,
don't make sense about Purgatory, and so
Benny saves Cass, though.
Benny saves Cass and Leviathan, so now they're fine. Sure. Okay.
Yeah, and then when back in current, I don't know, whatever. When Benny and Dean get back to shore, Sam is waiting for them at the dock. And Benny introduces himself and shakes his hand, and Sam's about to kill him. And Dean just like gently shakes his head from behind. So Benny's like, I'll leave you to talk. And they get Sam staring Dean down.
No bitch face. That is not Sam staring down. That is actual canon bitch face. Like it is actually documented on the Supernatural wiki as Sam's a bitch face, because along with his stupid hair in this episode, there's his also like his bitch face.
Okay.
All right, so we can come back and we'll discuss Sam's bitch face after Casting Couch.
Casting Couch. It's the Casting Couch. Were they on that show that time with that guy? La 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 la.
All right. So we've got first we'll talk about Andrea Cormos, played by Athena Karkanis. She actually, as you see, she's actually been in episodes of things like Chappelle Show and a couple episodes of Suits. She was Agent Perez in Saw 4 and 6. She was one of the victims in Repo, a genetic opera, a tomboy in Survival of the Dead, the Romero movie, Abigail in the Zoo. She Abigail in the TV series The Zoo, Melody Cruz in series House of Cards, Grace in the series Manifest, and then she's actually done a ton of cartoon and video game voiceovers, as well as a bunch of Canadian shows that I wouldn't know. Our old man, aka Zaddy, was played by Patrick Stafford. He's been in episodes of shows like Modern Family, CSI, Criminal Minds, NCIS, Glee, and Frequency. Everett, who we only saw a couple times, the kiddo that worked at the motel, was played by Harrison McDonald. He's been in episodes of shows like Fringe, Bates Motel, Supergirl, Charmed, The Flash. He's done quite a few Hallmark movies. He was a pilot in the 2018 Predator film and was in several episodes of Riverdale as both Cassidy or a store clerk. Quentin, who we just saw at the beginning, was played by Clayton James. Been in episodes of shows like Fringe, Arrow, Zoo, which is Stumptown, Superman and Lois, done his share of Hallmark movies himself, and is currently in the series So Help Me Todd as Chuck. And then Sorrento, our henchman, was played by Luke Rodrigue. I say it like that because it was Luke spelled L-U-C. Duh. He was a bomb tracker in the 2014 Godzilla. He was in episodes of shows like Flash, Zombie, and he's been in an episode of Supernatural before. And then he was Bryce in the series The Crossing, a recurring character. Ian in the series Siren, and he's a recurring character in the TV show. I think it's on Apple TV called CSEE with Jason Momoa.
Yeah. Cool.
There we go.
All right. So Sam's bitch face and just I don't know. So I know like you are liking Benny.
What? I don't know what you're talking about. Wait, I like burly men and vampires. I don't know what you're talking about.
Fair.
Just saying. Like, oh, hi, Benny. Go ahead. Yeah. So, bitch face. No, so I literally texted you because I've been watching this show long enough by now, even though I haven't seen the whole series, obviously. But I've watched enough to go, like, I like Benny. I shouldn't like Benny. Something's going to happen, right? And you're just like, yeah, pretty much. So
no, I'm like, this is a spoiler-free show. I'm not telling you shit.
No, you didn't. You just laughed at me. But
I'm
still.
also like, it's supernatural. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. Like,
don't ask these questions. Don't like people. They're gonna die. Duh. It's supernatural. You didn't say that.
Also, like,
I know this.
You know, people die. They don't necessarily stay dead.
That's very true as well. So I don't know either way. Or he's gonna be bad, and that would be upsetting. That's all I know. So I like Benny. That's my hot take.
Yeah. And we've got some drama.
I'm enjoying some Benny.
Okay, that's good.
Makes me do a little shoulder shimmy. I'm like, all right, Benny,
I'm going fucking insane from Benny and the Jets being stuck in my head all the time. Benny. They also have a new demon named Benny, so like that's not helping. So, anyways, all right. I think that it's beginning of the season still, and we're still developing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we have clarity on what the big bad at all. We know we're chasing down still Kevin. That's still the backstory that's still consistently following. Most of this so far is really laying out what happened the year before, I feel like. And that's fine. I'm burned on flashbacks, but we know these two motherfuckers can't sit and have a conversation, so we're not going to get the backstory that way.
Yeah. Just sitting down and being like, this is what happened last year, it'd be too hard to ask for.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So, yeah.
All right, if there's nothing else, I think we're going to end there. All right, cheers, Jerk.
Cheers, bitch.
Devil's Trap Podcast is a Don't Get It production. Meow.
Devil's Trap Podcast is part of the Ship It Studios Podcast Network. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Devil's Trap Podcast, Twitter at Devil's Trap Pod, or you can email us at devilstrap@devilstrappodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe, leave reviews, and share with all your friends. We're at all your favorite podcast outlets and at devilstrappodcast.com. I'm Babe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.